Yo, I was literally just about to get in bed, and then, right, I clicked on I'm just gonna have to pull it up like this sidebar that, has news stories, and I'm like looking through the last ones before I get in bed. And this was here Pope Francis kisses hand of Muslim Imam. I'll click it so that you know this is the one, even though I already pulled it up. But so this is the one. This is the same. It's the same story. Um, I just looked at it and read it a little bit, and I wanted to make the point. Obviously, this guy doesn't actually speak for Christianity, Pope Francis, right? He speaks for Catholicism, but Catholicism banned the name Yahweh from the liturgy in like 2008. So where it says Pope Francis kisses hand of Muslim imam declares all religions have a role to play. Uh, Interestingly enough, this article, I don't know what the Western Journal is, but it seems to come from a place of like, well, we'll just read it. Pope Francis is embarking upon a 12-day trip through four nations in Southeast Asia and Oceania. His intent with the voyage is to pledge the Catholic Church will combat religious violence while inspiring stronger ties to other religions. On Thursday, the Associated Press reported the Pope made his first stop in Jakarta, Indonesia, home to the largest Muslim population in the world. A notable moment came when the Pope in a wheelchair. I wonder why he's in a wheelchair. I mean, he is old, but anyway, appears next to Indonesia's Grand Imam Nasaruddin Umar at the entrance of the Tunnel of Friendship, which connects Istiqlal Mosque to the nearby Catholic Cathedral Our Lady of the Assumption. Notice, like, most of the churches that have, like, mostly it's a Catholic church that has a direct tie to Islam. So while I was saying he seemed to be a shill for Russia, I mean, Islam seems to be like just a tool that Russia like is happy to use. I mean, they're happy to use whatever tools they can to like fucking destabilize whatever. But in the same way, you just saw like people got in trouble here in America. They got indicted on because they were taking Russian money, like YouTube channels, popular right side YouTube channels. Um, but in any instance, it was here the Pope received a kiss on the head from the Imam while kissing his hand in response. The AP reported the Pope made comments that same day. I mean, I'm pretty sure all these are just gay dudes pretending to be religious figures, but okay. In any instance, you don't see me judging them for being gay. You see me judging them for lying and trying to trick people. The AP reported that Pope made comments that same day saying religions have a role to play in helping everyone pass through the tunnels of life with our eyes turned towards the light. Well, Jesus is the light, so when they take that light out of things, you don't have that Mister head of the Catholic Church. The Pope stressed a message of unity between Catholics and Muslims in further remarks, something that Muslims do not do. I mean, these guys can pretend to be friendly, but if you open a Quran, it's not friendly. It's because it was around hundreds of years after, and there were actually Christians around when it was written. The only thing that the Bible talks about Muslims is when it says that there's a false prophet that's going to come and they're going to kill you and want to kill you for God. That's Allah. It's literally just a title meaning God. It's a word meaning deity. It's not a name. It's more of a title. In any instance, speaking to an audience alongside the Imam, he said via translation, "I encourage you to continue along this path so that all of us together, each cultivating his or her own spirituality and practicing his or her own religion, may walk in search of God and contribute to building open societies." Yeah, Islam does not build open societies. He further spoke about unless they're trying to buy off like Christian societies so that they can manipulate the populaces in those places. Really, obviously, if you're a Catholic listening to the Pope as opposed to the guy on the throne of Yahweh, yo, um, you know, you're fucking up. So he spoke further about his vision for those societies founded on reciprocal respect and mutual love, capable of protecting against rigidity, fundamentalism, and extremism, which are always dangerous, never justifiable. Except when you call it extremism, but it's just what the book says to do, then you're misrepresenting because when people say it's like Muslim or Islamic extremism, no, it's just Muslims actually acting out their faith. Whereas in Christianity, acting out your faith is basically the golden rule. Living that out in real life. That's hard enough to do as it is. Uh, But okay, the Pope's. This is why I'm saying like I don't even know what the Western Journal is here. I mean, it could be. Is it like a? I don't know. Is this a Christian thing? What is this? I don't know. Well, look, this is why I say this because even this whatever this is, says here the Pope's message here is overly conciliatory. While he does not say it outright, the implication is that there are multiple ways to God. His message should be one. His message is one of religious pluralism. Should Christians accept that view? No. Compare his words to those of Jesus in the Gospel of John. You know, this dude who's like a wolf in sheep's clothing that has like taken over the church. That's what the Catholic Church is and has been for a long time. I'm not saying the Orthodox Church is better. I'm not saying the Protestant Church is better. I'm saying that like you got to stay awake, uh, because it is we are in a situation where something is trying to keep your eyes closed and put you to sleep, and you just stay awake because. And I'll tell you this: Islam is one of those things, and the people who believe in it are those people. So it's just because the spirit that is in them is not the spirit of Yahweh. It is some knockoff spirit of a different deity that is called a daimonon spirit, according to the New Testament. The way the New Testament would classify it, it's a demon spirit. In other words, a lesser deity that's trying to be the supreme. That is not, Yahweh is the supreme. Allah is a knockoff of Yahweh. That one's really obvious. Just by title, also Allah etymologically is feminine, but in any instance, in Hebrew, it is. In John 4:16, Jesus said to him, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. In other words, whoever wrote this is very correctly calling Pope Francis out. I mean, is Pope Francis, is this just a joke from the Francis that I knew in fucking elementary school? It seems to be like all these figures are actually puppets manipulated by people that I know, because it does feel like that sometimes. In any instance, while the Pope, and if not, then Francis left. I don't know. While the Pope should not be openly hostile to a people who welcome him, he should pay heed to the Bible's message in constructing his own greeting. When we cultivate our own spirituality through something other than Christ, we are not following his word. I guess this is a Christian publication, the Western Journal. It makes sense. While his mission appears to be driven by peace and diplomacy, the Pope should never say or imply that there are any other paths than Christ. This whole mission of whatever is pointless. The way that you correct these people and like guide them to this light that you're talking about, Jesus is the light. They believe Jesus is not a divine entity. If they even say it according to their thing, it's shirk, associating someone else with with Allah. That is not how Yahweh operates. Yahweh is, first of all, exists. Allah does not really. Whoever is pretending to be Allah going to be thrown into a burning lake. Like, all this is bullshit. Islam is easily defeated with Bible knowledge. Uh, like the New Testament is 500 years older than the Quran. At the like most conservative, the Old Testament is like 1,000 years older than the Quran. It's essentially an Arab religion that Arabicizes the Christian narrative, and then makes someone other than Jesus God. That is not like, and removes Yahweh from it. So it's a different God than Yahweh. Jesus is Yahweh. This is some bullshit. This dude is apostate. So it's really obvious at this point. I'm just trying to point it out. He doesn't look like he got that much time left either. So, I thought it was going to be a while ago, but we're still here sitting and waiting. And to be honest, he doesn't have a place for him, at least in any kingdom of heaven that I'm ruling or that I'm going to be on the throne on. I can tell you for a fact, this shit pisses me off, because it shouldn't be that he is too stupid to realize this is only empowering Islamic. It's only giving credence and credibility to Islam, a religion that is an obvious farce. He could do a lot to actually change the world and make it a better place. He doesn't. That's just what it is. So, you know, I just wanted to make this video because I thought this was like I wanted to say something about this. I wanted to record it, and then when I read this, I was like, oh, even this fucking article that I clicked on literally is calling it out because it's just fucking obvious. So it is what it is. Okay. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if whatever the attack I'm going through is like literally some kind of Catholic attack, and it's the same thing that happened where the Jews killed Jesus. It's like, well, the church killed the guy who's going to be on the throne of Yahweh. And yeah, it's a real big fuck up, and you're going to be in an infinite burning torture, the second death. That's what it is. If you fucked up that bad, accept it and move on, because you definitely ain't making like here, faith used to stoke conflicts, says Pope, other leaders. Yeah, most of those conflicts, like statistically, is Islam. Just the reality. So, if he wants to actually engage this reality that Islam is a farce and that it's hurting people and that he actually has a voice that could fix it, he would take any kind of action to do so. But he doesn't. So, in any instance, I just wanted to say this because it like is worth. If anybody's listening to me, I don't stand for that shit, but y'all should know that by now. And you know, it's not like Islam is making better points. Islam is only since I've read the Quran and like come to knowledge of how to easily like upend all these arguments and stuff. Like since I've been looking at Christian apologetics versus Islam, there a lot of like multiple of their narratives and things that they've used to defend themselves have fallen apart due to Western scrutiny from Christians and secular academics. So it's just he has a voice that could actually help people, and instead of using it to do that, he's like empowering this false religion and not calling it out on its bullshit. And like if you're at the head of the church, this is why I'm the guy on the throne of Yahweh for sure. I don't give up. If you're threatening me, I do not care. Right? Yahweh's gonna throw you in infinite burning torture. It literally says if I die, I like it is, kingdom of heaven, right? Like that is the martyrdom that Christians do, right? Does that make sense? Like the martyrdom that Muslims do is, well, the only assured way you could be a perfect Muslim, but the only assured way that you're getting into their version of heaven is that or paradise, is that you die in the cause of Islam. In other words, you're a martyr, you're a shaheed. That's a great way for like some kind of like almost seems like a computer program like trying to take over religion and like using religion to like use the people as like bees or something. Uh, that does not work when you're a bee flying into infinite burning torture and I can tear apart your religion and stuff. But at the same time, Christians, your martyrdom is like, look, it will ultimately like we will ultimately be found correct by objective reality. And like something is about to force that point because we're getting to a point where where like subjective fantasies that people have are like literally butting heads against the objective reality. And I think the idea of revelation is that for a short period of time, they are given free reign to like literally associate as one thing, with the mark of the beast, where they all take this like thing, and there's an empire of people who are willing to like they know it's a lie, else like it is just a lie, and they bought into it wholesale, and they don't want to listen to the truth, and they are willing to go to that level. It's allowed for a specific number of days. Specific events happen during that which fulfill certain prophecies, and literally the book plays out as it does, and then boom, extreme cataclysm. By the end of it, more than half the world's population is gone. I'm sure one of the reasons I'm on the throne, it would seem, is this whole Jezebel thing where I'm dealing with people like I mean, have I actually been bred without my consent? So I've been raped. Well, then that would make sense as to why. And like I haven't gotten to like essentially the precious childhood moments that I would want to experience with my children. Uh, like have been robbed from me essentially. Okay, well, if that doesn't give you a fucking obvious reason as to why half the world's population is gonna go bye bye, I can't give I can't give you other good reasons. I mean, I can give you a lot of them, but that should be enough. That should be enough. It also makes sense of the whole Jezebel thing. So, whatever. I'm like, I could just talk on and on and on, but right now, I've said my piece. I mean, I could talk on and on and on and on and on about this, but I'm gonna end it here. So, hope that was a nice little rant to end the day with. And yeah, Pope's an idiot. I mean, going around saying stuff like that, essentially kissing the ass of like a religion that literally calls for his and other Christians' subjugation. Like, if they're doing what it says in the Quran, if they are actually following it out, you are a second class citizen that is going to pay the jizya or you're going to die. That's just what it is. If you don't like it, well, then you don't like Islam. I ain't going to submit to any fake knockoff version of Yahweh, like literally a feminine version of, like, I'm pretty sure, again, I'm positive. In Hebrew, it is etymologically that Allah would be a feminine form of the term deity El. You add a hey at the end, it becomes feminine singular. I'm pretty positive, right? So just like a lot is feminine plural, but in any instance, and that's even one that's like look up a lot in Islam, and Allah with essentially like a tau at the end, or in Arabic a ta. Um, but fucking up, Francis. You're fucking up. That's what I'm gonna say. Anyway, have a blessed one. I'll catch you next time. Believe in Jesus. Don't believe in these idiots or these wolves in sheep's clothing. Like I don't even say believe in me. I say believe in Jesus. Probably if you have the spirit of Yahweh, the Holy Spirit, you're like it's gonna be really obvious. I'm not lying. I'm not like I can be wrong, but I'm not lying. And I do care about this, and whatever evil shit that people could do to you here, however terrible it is, this is what gets me through this is that like whatever it is, the idea is the glory, the power, the amazing reality that comes in the kingdom of heaven is so much more and beyond even our ability to imagine how much better it is that like, I'm not worried. So, all right, have a blessed one. I'll catch you next time. Later. Yeah.